Hi everyone, it's Kat. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to hop on while I am making my smoothie for lunch today and just share with you a really quick and easy way to promote some good health, especially as we're moving into a warmer time of year when smoothies might feel more appealing than they might feel during the cooler months of autumn and winter. And I'll preface this by saying I don't have an affiliation with any of the company's products that I'm using. So like I said, I don't have any affiliate links, but I can just recommend these based on my personal opinion of these being products that I like and use. So my smoothie recipe is pretty simple and easy to make. That's why I like it. I can do it pretty quickly. The only thing that may take a little extra time is that I do have to let the fruit that I use defrost. But what I usually like to grab is some strawberries, frozen strawberries, blueberries, and mangoes sometimes. Mangoes can be really helpful, especially if you don't have bananas on hand, because they give some of the same creamy texture, so they give a little bit more body to the smoothie. Than if you're just using like berries and things like that. And you don't necessarily have to use these exact fruits. If there's other frozen fruits that you prefer, use whatever you've got on hand or whatever you like. So I tend to grab those. That's how I start out. And then I may add some plant-based milk. I tend to prefer this to dairy milk. I do drink cow's milk, but when for smoothies, just to break up so I'm not consuming so much dairy throughout the day, I tend to use almond milk. You can use soy milk, oat milk, again, any kind of either dairy or non-dairy milk that you like. I usually start out by maybe filling this about halfway once I've added my fruit. And that's just to help start it to defrost. I don't like to fill it all the way before I add my powders. So now these powders, like I said, I'm not an affiliate for this company. I just really like their products. This is a company called Your Super, and they're developed by a nutritionist, and they're all superfood powders. And each one, it's just a combination of different superfoods that have been made into powder form, and they're blends. So it's not single superfoods, it's just blends of different ones. And they all serve different purposes. Like this one's Forever Beautiful. It's supposed to be good for your skin. This is for energy. I've got one plant collagen. It's also supposed to be good for like hydration and bone health, or sorry, like tissue health. What's this one? Gut Restore. It's supposed to be good, for a healthy gut. I think it's like a probiotic supplement. This is supposed to be good moon balance for like regulating feminine cycles, and this is a plant protein. So if you're interested in these, you can go to their website. It's yoursuper, yoursuper.com, and you can investigate more if you're interested. I just like these because it's a quick and easy way to add a lot of nutrients into my smoothie without having to source all these ingredients from different places. And like I said, since they're developed by nutritionists, I feel pretty comfortable that they have good research. I know they use clean ingredients, and I believe they're also a certified B Corp, which means that they use ethical practices and they pay fair wages to their workers, which is always a good thing. So most of these powders, you use either 1 to 2 tablespoons. I think the Energy Bomb, which does, I don't think it has caffeine, but it's like has a similar function. So this does give you a little boost. This one's just the 1 teaspoon. So throw that right in. And then I think everything else here is 2 teaspoons. So I just add that right on top of the fruit. And I'll just say that this isn't necessarily an Ayurvedic type recipe. I do like to, as much as possible when I can, follow a lot of the Ayurvedic principles, because they tend to be really, good suggestions for digestion. In Ayurveda tends not to recommend frozen foods, because the idea in Ayurveda is that anything that's been frozen tends to reduce the amount of like life force, life energy, prana. So that's not necessarily a recommendation, but unfortunately sometimes we have to make, not excuses, but sometimes because of modern lifestyle, scenarios, we have to bend the rules a little bit, which is what I'm doing in this circumstance, since I don't always have access to as many fresh fruits and vegetables as I would like. Oh, and that's something, so I'm not doing this today, but sometimes you can add, if you like, you can also add, sometimes I do like frozen spinach or kale. So if you want to kick in like some of those veggies that can be hard to get in during the day, that can be great. And you can also add in other, there's other things. Sometimes people like to add yogurt, honey, other things. You can kind of do whatever you want. Like I said, I keep this is like my basic recipe that I keep pretty simple. And then I may throw in other things if I have more time. But this is actually, I'm in the middle of my work day right now. So I'm trying to throw something together pretty quickly and that's a thing too. So in my part-time job, which I work 2 days a week, I'm seeing patients throughout the day for like hour-long sessions, and I usually only have maybe like an hour or even sometimes a half hour in the middle of the day for lunch, which isn't often long enough to really like prepare a meal and sit and eat. So I find that if at least I can make myself a smoothie, that's not the only thing I'm going to eat. I may, toast up some bread with like butter or something to have like to supplement it, or I may like, snack on some trail mix or something like that. But I find that if I can get myself something that has a lot of nutrients in it that I can be sipping on even while I'm in session, that helps me avoid kind of going through the day just subsisting on, coffee and water, and then getting to the end of the day without really having had a proper breakfast and lunch, because it can be really easy to do. I think especially when you're busy during the day, if you're working or running around, it can be really easy not to stop and have a meal. So making a smoothie at some point during the day can be a good way to make sure you're getting some good nutrition. So once I get my powders in there, I kind of fill up the rest, because you do want to let your fruit defrost a little bit. If you're using like a big blender, like we have, can't even think of the name of it, but we have like a really nice big blender that has pretty like solid blades that, I could probably put this all in there and go ahead right away instantaneously and get it all chopped up. But usually when I'm just doing a single serve smoothie like this, I'll use an immersion blender. And this doesn't have as strong, it just has these little blades. So I'm actually not going to blend this in front of you for the sake of time. I'm probably going to have to let this sit here for maybe 5 or 10 minutes so the fruit can defrost properly before I start blending it. But the nice thing about using this, if you're just doing a single serving, is the cleanup's really easy, because you're just cleaning up this. Sometimes I'll just drink it straight from here and I pop in like a bamboo straw or something like that. So I just have to clean the straw. And then the nice thing, if you don't have an immersion blender, this part pops right off, and then you just have to clean this part. That goes back in your drawer. And it's, like I said, makes it super easy if you're in the middle of a busy day. And then, like I said, if you do have bananas on hand, you can also throw this in for a little extra creaminess and body and additional nutrients, if that's something you're looking for as well. But that's basically it. Like I said, smoothies, super easy to throw together. You can really customize it however you want. But like I said, I love them, especially in spring and summer, when the weather's warmer, because it's just an easy thing to throw together that's packed full of good nutrition that can help you get through your day, especially if you don't have a ton of time for meal prep and also to consume your meal. So again, ideally, according to Ayurveda, we wouldn't be rushing through our meals. We'd take the time to, prepare the meal, sit and enjoy. But unfortunately, because of our modern lifestyle and the requirements of some of our jobs, we can't always do that. So we sometimes need to look for other ways to meet our nutritional needs, and, find a way to be healthy within the constraints of how we're currently living. If you have any questions, feel free to post it below, and I look forward to seeing you back here sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.